Jay Shri Ram. By the grace of Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Jagannath, Lord Sri Ram, we will continue the story of Rāmāyaṇa Part 3 War. Chapter 5 The War Begins. So, if you are not watched the previous chapter of Rāmāyaṇa, you may go to the playlist or click on the I button on the top so that you can connect. You can watch all the video and connect the story of Rāmāyaṇa from the beginning till to this chapter. So, the chapter 5 is started like this. Outside Lanka, Ram held council with his chiefs. They discussed how to assail the city. Bibhisana reported that his four ministers had entered the city in the form of birds. They had carefully surveyed everything. Bibhisana described the defensive arrangements. At the eastern gate stands Prahasta, the commander in chief. At the southern gate is Mahapraswa and Mahodara, two almost invisible Rakshasas. Stationed at the western gate is Ravana Kuning and fearful son Indrajit, who is highly dangerous in battle. At the northern gate is Ravana himself. Bibhisana told Ram how many Rakshasas they faced. They numbered tens of millions, all of them equipped with fierce weapons of every description. It was not going to be an easy fight. Ram smiled. He issued orders detailing different monkeys to attack each gate. Sugriva, Jabaman, and Vibhisana should remain at the center of the army. Nila would assault the eastern side, Angada the south, Hanuman the west, and Ram himself would attack the northern gate. He wanted to waste no time in the confronting Ravana directly. Ram ordered that the monkeys should fight in their natural forms only. This would be their distinguishing mark. Ram expected that the demons would try trickery and assume different forms. The monkey would have the best chance of recognizing each other if they remained in their own forms. Evening was approaching. The battle would commence the next day. Ram decided to ascend the Suvela mountain and Spend the night there. As he climbed the mountain, he spoke with Lakshmana. We shall be able to survey Lanka from this vantage point. I long now for the battle to begin. My anger towards Ravana is growing at every moment. The whole Rakshasa race will perish on account of their mean-minded and stubborn king. Ram reached the top of the Mount Suvela along with 100 of the foremost monkey warriors. They gazed at Lanka, which glowed red in light of the setting sun. Along its defensive wall, which appeared like a sheer cliff face, there seemed to be another dark wall in the shape of a compact row of Rakshasas. No gap could be seen anywhere in the line of heavily armed demons. The monkeys rode in the anticipation as they stared at their enemy. The sun set and a full moon rose. Ram and the monkeys alertly watched for any sign of a treacherous night assault by the Rakshasa. After sunrise the following day, the monkeys closely surveyed Lanka again. Atop the Trikuta mountain, the city appeared charming with its towering white gates and gold and silver fortifications. Mansions and palaces and tall golden domed temple crowded the city. The monkeys saw various uh, devices lined up along the outer wall ready for the battle. As the Rakshasa readied themselves for the battle, the thunder of a drum and the blowing of a conches and trumpets was tumultuous. Ram and the monkeys looked across the Lanka. They saw in the distance Ravana himself. The demon appeared at the top of the city gate, clad in red robes and adorned with shining scarlet gems. He was being fanned on all sides, and a large white parasol was held over his head. Seeing him there, Sugriva becomes impetuous. He immediately sprang from the mountain top and with one mighty bound landed near the demon king. He rushed up to him and said, I am a friend and servant of Ram, ruler of this world. Display your power, O Rakshasa, for I shall not spare you today. With that, Sugriva leapt upon Ravana and dashed his shining diadem to the ground. The Rakshasa shook him off and stood for the fight. He spoke harshly, Today I will break your beautiful neck, O monkey. Ravana caught a hold of Sugriva and threw him forcefully to the ground. But the monkey bounced off like a ball. He closed on Ravana and grasped him tightly. As they impaled, kneed and scratched on one another, they appeared like two tall trees intertwined together and shaken by a gale. Their limbs were bathed in blood and perspiration as they locked together. Grunting furiously, both were endowed with extraordinary might and they fought with tremendous power. They fell to the ground and rolled over, dropping from the flat roof of the gate to the ground below, still violently belaboring each other. As both were experts at they employed various maneuvers with great skill. They appeared like a lion and a tiger engaged in a furious fight to the death. Breaking apart, they moved around in a circle, each rebuking the other with harsh words. They stood in a diverse posture and moved about in many ways, now rushing, now wailing, now leaping high and now crouching. As they stalked and dogged one another with blinding speed, they appeared graceful. But neither could overpower the other. Become tired of the boat, Ravana decided to exhibit his supernatural power. Sugriva realized this and immediately sprang high, landing again on the roof of the gate, taking another great bound. He rode across the Subala mountain. Ravana was left standing angrily on the ground, seeing that he had returned to the side of Ram and Lakshmana. The demon decided not to pursue the monkey. The battle with the prince would come soon enough. Ram embraced Sugriva and examined the wounds Ravana had inflicted upon him. Feeling a little annoyed with the monkey, Ram admonished him out of love. King should not act in such rash way. O mighty one, if anything had happened to you, then what would have come of me? If you had been slain, then I surely would not have survived. Please do not be so impetuous again. Sugriva bowed to Ram and replied, seeing that disgusting demon who has borne away your wife, I lost control of myself. I had to give him a beating. I am sorry. Ram praised Sugriva courage and strength and then turned to Lakshmana, O violent brother, the time for battle has arrived. We should array our force in preparation. Many terrible omens are visible, boding massive destruction and death. The earth will soon be covered with rocks, darts, arrows, and swords, hauled by monkeys and rakshasa. Soon a thick morass of flesh and blood will spread on all sides. Surrounded by monkey and bears, we should immediately march on Lanka. Ram rapidly descended the mountain, followed by his brother. Upon reaching the foot of the mountain, he reviewed the army. Then, with Sugriva assistance, the marshaled the troops ready for the battle. At an auspicious moment, he ordered them to advance. The army moved up, standing off a roar which made the earth shake and the wall of Lanka vibrate. The, the, the different Vanaras commanders soon reached their respective position at the gate of Lanka. Ram himself stood at the northern gate. Sugriva remained at a distance from the city. Along with Lakshmana and Vibhishana, he detailed visions of troops to support each of the commanders. Seizing hold of fully grown trees and massive boulders, the monkeys rushed forward. Their long tails raised in anger and their terrible teeth bared. Their eyes were bloodshot and their face contoured with fury. As they bounded high in the air, they seemed like a swarm of lac- locusts. locusts. The glows and the roars of the Perseverers led by Jambavan sounded like the roars of a mighty ocean. The army quickly surrounded the city of Lanka, making it difficult even for the wind to approach. Looking out from the walls, the Rakshasa were filled with wonder upon seeing the flood of monkey and bears. They ran about in all directions, making ready to defend their city. Ram summoned Angada and asked him to carry a message to Ravana. This was the demon's last chance. If he returned Sita now, then a battle could be averted. Ram said to Angada, you should approach the 10-headed monster of on my behalf. Tell him that his cup of sins has now overflowed. Fierce retribution will shortly ensue for all his act of violent act in the Rusis, gods, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Yakshas, and other what to speak of his depraved act of stealing Sita from me. His arrogance born of boon will shortly become smashed by me. Soon he will see his city rent asunder and the Rakshasa laying lifeless upon the ground. Standing firm in battle, I will soon force him to throw down his body. Ram offered Ravana the opportunity to surrender. He could return Sita now and the army would live peacefully. Otherwise, the world would soon be rid of Rakshasa, bearing those who sought Ram's shelter. Angada leapt high and cross over the wall of Lanka, confounding the demons by his speed and movement. He swiftly arrived before Ravana. He stood a short distance from the Ravana and announced himself to be Ram's messenger. He then delivered the message exactly as he had heard it from Ram. Ravana was seized by fury. He commanded his minister to capture and kill Angada. Four huge demons immediately took hold of Angada by his arms. The monkey, who blushed like a fire, allowed the Rakshasa to hold him, taking all four of them still clinging to his arms. He leaped up onto a high ledge. He then dashed the demons together and they fell senseless to the ground. The monkey let out a great shout uh, proclaiming his name and roaring victory to Ram. With a great leap, he returned to Ram, smashing down the wall from which he jumped. Ravana replied to Ram was clear enough. Witnessing this display of power, Ravana became morose. He foresaw his own destruction. The demon sat singing amid his ministers, but still he gave no thought to the possibility of surrender. Ram affectionately received Angada back. Hearing then of Ravana's cruel response, he resolved to fight and immediately gave the order to charge. Mounted upon the back of a monkey, Ram led the attack himself. The entire earth around Lanka was rendered brown by the mass of monkeys and bears. They filled the moats and completely covered the defensive wall as they rapidly scaled them. The air was filled with the cries of victory to Rama and Sugriva. Many mighty monkeys rose quickly to the top of the wall and screaming ferociously, they poured in onto the ramparts and tore into the Rakshasa in with their teeth and nails. Ravana ordered his troops to rush against the enemy. The great clamor was raised. Thousands of drums were beaten with golden stick, creating a terrible din. Rakshasa of hideous feature blew conches and trumpets and railing Ravana's vast force to the fight. With their dark limbs adorned with brilliant jewels, the Rakshasas seemed like so many clouds lit by lighting. They joyfully rushed forth like the waves of an ocean swollen with the rains of universal destruction. The trumpeting of elephants, the knighting of horses, the cater of chariots, and the shout of demons made the earth and the sky resound. The Rakshasa struck the monkey with their flaming march, javelin spikes and axes. The monkey grasped hold of the demons with their powerful arms and hauled them down from the wall. They aimed terrible blows at the Rakshasa with their fist and feet. The demons replied with darts and arrows. They fought. They shouted out their respective names. All around Lanka there were monkeys, bears, and rakshasa locked in the fierce combat. The earth quickly became covered with a merry of flesh and blood. Great heroes among the Rakshasa mounted a brilliant chariot and come out of the city with their dazzling coats of mail they shone like fire. Others sailed forth on the back of the gigantic elephants, while others charged out on great steeds. They were supported by ten of thousands of Rakshas on a foot. Their frightening faces twisted in a fury, shouting victory to the king. The Rakshasa issued out for battle like a black river gushing out of the city gates. Some of them took to the air and swooped down upon Ram's army, wailing, wheeling huge scimitars. Others fought on foot, raising their frightful weapons and screaming in anger. The Banaras met them, surging towards them with a shout of joy. The two armies appeared like heaven and earth colliding in the sky. Great duels took place between the heroes on the both sides. Angada fought with Indrajit even as Shiva had contended with the demons on Dhaka. Hanuman fought a furious battle with the huge Rakshasa Sarabha, while Vibhishana battled with a violent Rakshasa called Suparaswa. Sugriva closed with Pragasta, Pragasa and Lakshmana with Durmukha, four of the most powerful Rakshasa charged Ram, who stood on the battlefield shining like a smokeless fire. A fierce and confused fight raged. All of the combatants shout a quick victory and they fought with tremendous force. A stream of blood flowed across the ground, floating dead bodies that looked like logs with hairs resembling weeds. Heads, arms, legs, and trunks rolled about. The clamor of the fight was deafening. The struck terror in the heart of all those who were not heroes in battle. Saurabha hauled at Hanuman a blazing lance which pierced the monkey in the breast. Sorry. Not tolerating the attack, Hanuman sprang on to the demon's chariot and with his very hand smashed it along with the Rakshasa himself. Sugriva took off a massive sal tree and brought it down upon Praghasa chariot, killing the Rakshasa outright. A fierce and a notorious demon named Pratap Pratapana rushed yelling towards Nala and lacerated him with hundreds of sharp arrows. With one of the arrow, Nala bounded onto the demon's chariot and gouged out his eyes. With a hail of arrows, Lakshmana overwhelmed Durmukha, and with one swift shaft he pierced the demons in the heart. Ram quickly lopped up the head of the four Rakshasa who surrounded him. The powerful Menda, a commander among the monkeys, leaped into the sky and fought the Rakshasa who flew overhead. Catching hold of a powerful demon named Mushti, he smashed him to the ground along with his chariot and four great steeds. Nik- Nikumba, the son of Kumbhakarna, shot 100 swift arrows at Nila. The monkey took off a chariot wheel and rushed towards the Rakshasa who stood laughing in the chariot. Nik- Nikumba loosed another 100 fierce shafts at the advancing Nila. Not Not minding the arrow, Nila wielded the iron wheel and jumped onto the Rakshasa chariot even as Vishnu served the head of a demon with his chakra. Nala cut off the head of Nikumba well as that of his chariot. Bidumali, a leader among the Rakshas, attacked Susena with his gold encrusted arrow. Roaring again and again, he pierced the monkey with hundreds of sharp arrows. In a rage, Susena took up a mountainous boulder and hurled in it at the demon. Vidyamali Bidun hastily left from his chariot as the boulder descended and smashed it to pieces. The demon stood on the ground, mace in hand. Susena seized a huge rock and darted towards the Rakshasa, who swung his fierce mace at the monkey and caught him on the breast. Unmoved by the blow, Susena brought the rocks down upon the demon's head with the force of a thunderbolt. Vidyumali fell lifeless to the ground like a tree smashed in a storm. Many valiant Rakshasa were crushed in this way. By mighty heroes among the monkeys and bears. The battlefield was strewn with spears and maces as well as javelins, lance, and arrows. Smashed chariot but laid amid the carcasses of horses and elephants. The headless trunks of Rakshasa and the monkeys pounded here and there, spurting blood and finally falling to the ground. Vultures and jackals moved about the field, feasting and on flesh and blood. As night fell, the Rakshasa felt their strength and enthusiasm increases. Increase. The fight continued into the night with the combat hardly able to recognize one another. Boys were heard to call out, "Are you a monkey or a Rakshasa? Shout up, stand and fight." And why do you flee? Mixed with the cries of wounded and dying soldiers, the monkeys could see the golden armors of the Rakshasa glinting in the moonlight, and they sprang upon them and tearing them with their sharp teeth and pounding them with their fists. Powerful monkeys drag down and drown the elephants and horses mounted by demons. The monkeys' hero picked up Rakshasas, crushed them in their embrace, and then dropped them lifeless to the ground to be devoured by jackals. Ram and Lakshmana stood together like two brilliant gods. They killed numerous Rakshasa with swift arrows, including those who ranged invisible through the sky. Not even the heroes among the Rakshasa could approach the two princes as they fought in the midst of the battle. A terrible sound arose as the Rakshasa beat countless cattle drums and large wooden tom-toms and blew thousands of conches and trumpets. The sound, mixed with the roars of pain and the clash of weapons, created a horrifying uproar. It was difficult to move across the ground due to the countless crops laying there. Monkey and Rakshasa lay on the battlefield with lances and arrows protruding from their lifeless bodies. That past night of the battle was the night of the universal dissolution. Millions of warriors were slain. Ghosts and nocturnal friends ranged about the battlefield, reveling in the scenes of carnage and death. The Rakshasa railed, and though headed by six of their mighty chiefs riding in a line. They rushed in a body towards Ram and Lakshmana. Ram released thousands of flaming arrows which lit up the ground like flares. Almost instantaneously, he struck down the six foremost Rakshasa with six straight flying arrows. With the other golden feathered arrow, he tore to pieces hundred of other Rakshasa who came near him. Lakshmana stood behind him and fended off the treacherous demons who attacked Ram from his ears. The demons that approached the princess perished like a moth entering a fire. Angada fought a furious battle with Indrajit with a rock with a rock looked like a mountain peak. He smashed the demon's chariot. Indrajit rose into the air and became invisible. Fatigued from the fight, he retreated. Seeing Angada besting Indrajit, the god and Rishi praising him. Ram and Lakshmana also praised the valor of the monkey princess. They called out, "Well done, bravo!" Hearing his enemy praised, Indrajit fell into a terrible rage, remaining invisible. The demon loosed sharp arrows, which shone like lightning. They seemed to appear out of nowhere and sped towards Ram and Lakshmana, piercing them all over. The Rakshasa used his supernatural power to send arrow like a venomous snake, which caught and bound Ram and Lakshmana. The two princes fell to the ground, immersed in a tight network of writhing serpent with the glow eternal bodies. Ram immediately ordered 10 monkeys to search out Indrajit, Hanuman, Angad, and 8 other Vanaras generals mounted into the air and darted about willing trees and mess, but they could not locate the demon who continuously fired at them. His swift iron arrow bedecked with bludgeoned feathers. Laughing at the while and keeping out of sight, Indrajit shot hundreds of arrows into the bodies of Ram and Lakshmana. No part of their bodies remained visible. Blood flowed profusely from their wounds, and they appeared like trees giving forth a red blossom in the spring. Indrajit shouted to them, "Even the ruler of the god Indra could not discern me as I fight invisible. What then of you, two human? I shall now dispatch you to the abode of Yamaraj to with my sharp arrows." The demon continued to fire his arrows at the two bound brothers who felt distressed and afflicted. They lay upon the ground with their bows fallen from their hand, arrow with the head of axes, other with razor heads, and other with his headed sharp with a claves teeth, wheeled, wished, wheeled towards them from the sky. Seeing them laying there bathed in blood, the monkey screeched in agony and fear. They surrounded the fallen princess and shed tears, giving way to despondency. Indrajit considered his enemy defeated. He joyfully left the battlefield and went towards Lanka to give happy news to his father. The monkey felt hopeless. They stood beating their breast and crying in anguish as they gazed around at the sky, fearing further attacks from the invisible Indrajit. They saw Bibhisana coming towards them. Some of the monkeys mistook the Rakshasa for Indrajit and they fled uh, here and there. But Bibhisana reassured them, looking around with his occult vision. He could discern that Indrajit has left. He told the monkey not to worry and kneel down by Ram's side. Bibhisana spoke Sugriva with pain in his voice. These two brothers who were depends on virtue have been struck down by Indrajit treachery. The wicked demon cannot face them in fair fight. Therefore, he resort to sorcery and cowardice. Vibhisana told the monkey that Ram and Lakshmana had been bounded by mystical weapons which Indrajit had received as a boon from Brahma. Even the god would not be able to release them. This made the monkey even more anguished. Sugriva lamented loudly, all Ram's hope have been dashed today. Our efforts are in vain and everything is lost. What shall we do now? Vibhisana took hold of Sugriva and assured him, take heart, O Monkey King. Conflicts are always of this nature. Victory is never certain. Hero doesn't lament when faced with setbacks. Rather, they exert themselves with even more energy. My feeling is that these two princes will recover. Somehow they will shake up their bonds. I am sure. Be strong, for the fear of death should never hurt those devoted to truth and pity. Vibhisana dipped his hand in cool water and wiped Sugriva's eyes. He told him to he told him to look closely at Ram and Lakshmana. They were still breathing and their bodies were lust- lustrous. It was clear they were not only in a temporary faint. Vibhisana felt sure that they would soon return to consciousness and find a way out of their predic- predicament. Predicament. He left with Jambavan to reassure and rally the rest of the army. As the news rammed fall had spread quickly, Sugriva, along with Hanuman and the other leading monkeys, stood by Ram's side, waiting for him to awaken. This is the story how the war is began and how Indrajit attack Lord Sri Ram, Lord Sri Laxman in the battlefield, and how mm, how Sugriva fight with Ravana in the beginning of the war, how Angada went as a messenger. This all thing is described in this chapter 5, The War Begins. Hope you got some information regarding Ramayana. If you uh, if you got something interesting, you may like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share this video. Jai Jagannath, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram.